All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Core Sport Between Sets. Today we have the one and only A-Money Alice Lee, our infamous powerlifting PT.
That's me.
That is you.
That is me.
Alice is the OGs of Core Sport. She was the first ever hire of Core Sport. So without Alice, we are nothing, if you think about it.
Nice of you, Nick.
Yeah.
You really know how to hype people up.
I really do. I do feel like half my job is being a hype man. But I love it.
I won't disagree with that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So, Alice, just give us a little background on yourself. Give us a little introduction. Kind of tell everyone, all the listeners about yourself. Anything interesting? Anything fun?
Well, Nick gave a good intro. I'll just give a little history from myself. I myself am a Southsider, despite this popular belief. I grew up in Bridgeport.
That's definitely Southside.
It's in
the song.
Some people it is in the song.
It's in the song.
How does it go? From Midway to South Shore, from Bridgeport to
Beverly?
No, Bridgeport to South
to Beverly,
Bridgeport
right?
to Beverly, from Midway to South Shore.
Yeah.
Thank you. Why am I in trouble? Literally, the Sox. See, this is where I go on my tangent. Literally, your team, the White Sox, plays 2 blocks away from where I grew up. Okay.
Yeah.
My address is 33rd and South Wallace Street.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm on your side. I'm gonna say you're a Southsider. People don't think I'm a Southsider, but
I can see that one.
Yeah, I can too. But in my defense, I did live 5 years in Blue Island, 122nd and Maple. So that's my grandparents' house. Whoops. But I'm from Blue Island. I was born and raised in Blue Island,
Yeah.
and then moved to Crestwood, and now I'm a bird boy in Tinley. But
Boy, let's go. Anyway, grew up in Bridgeport, lived there my whole life. Went to Whitney Young High School, Rolfins.
Rolfins.
People have never really asked me where I went to high school. I mean, some people, but the joke about Whitney Young is, someone went to Whitney Young if someone mentions it, and here I am mentioning it to the world. After that, I went to undergrad at Knox College in Galesburg, Illinois. If anyone can tell me where that is, I'm really proud of you. 3 hours west of Chicago.
That's a hike.
Yep, I did. My sport was discus, shot put, hammer. My best was shot put, so I did that through high school and also did that in college. Fun fact, I started off majoring in creative writing.
Really?
Just for funsies, I was trying to discover myself.
I actually never knew that. That's sick.
So I think a lot of you guys know my family's pretty medical. My 2 older brothers who are 10 years older than me, one's an orthopedic surgeon and then one's like an ophthalmologist, so big medical family. I am the youngest child, and both my brothers are 10 years older, so I never felt like big pressure to like be in the medical, but I was always like kind of influenced. So I kind of went in there with an open mind, and anyone who knows Knox College, it's like a artsy-fartsy liberal arts school. So I was like, let me just find myself. My parents aren't here. Let me just figure this out. And then I took that one creative writing class, and then I just remember the exact moment. It's like we're going around reading our stories, and then I'm like middle to go, and I'm like listening to all these stories, and I'm like, I'm not creative enough for
this is not for me. This is not for me.
But that was fun. And then ever since then, ever since getting into more like track and shot put and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, oh, okay. In high school, I was pretty good, but I was like, this is more like a social thing for me, But then once I got to college, I was like, I love this. Like, I love lifting. I love just like the aspect of like body mechanics, all this kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, what can I do where I can be like a mix of a sports coach and like some kind of doctor? That's a physical therapist. Anyways.
There it is.
So ever since then, I've been like, ever since my freshman year of Knox, I tried to pursue more of a physical therapy kind of thing. Well, I guess I'm here now.
Yeah.
So
the pursuit has completed.
Yes. So was reaching towards that. My journey was more, I graduated Knox, I majored in bio and psych, and then I took a gap year, and it was a very convenient gap year. So I graduated in 2019, and then I said, I need to take a gap year. I need my grades weren't the best. I need more experience, take the GRE, all this kind of stuff. Boom, COVID hits.
COVID smoked us. I got hit by it.
Right. So then I just kind of had a year, just study, get my application in. Got into Bradley, which is, I think, a main source. It's a PT feeder school for us.
It is the PT feeder.
I would like to call. I was going to call them my sons, but that just got weird, didn't it?
One of them definitely. One of them you can say. I mean,
Which
I feel
one?
Jared's everyone's son. If you think about it, I mean, he really.
That's my boy.
Yeah, he's the.
So anyway, I went to Bradley for my PT school. Bradley was a good school. I think the biggest experience I had from there was I had a clinical internship at Exos, which is a big sports performance facility in Phoenix, Arizona. So that was pretty cool.
Big time.
Hanging out in Phoenix, Arizona
Love
in
Arizona.
December. So,
Weather was probably phenomenal.
Oh my God. It was
Unbelievable.
70 degrees and people were wearing jackets and stuff. And I was like, what are you guys doing?
Oh, it's the best. I saw
my
the same
God.
thing when I was in Scottsdale. I was in February. It was like 72 degrees out and people were in like hoodies. I was like, guys.
Right. So that was really fun. But yeah, I learned a lot from that. Like a lot of stuff I use in the clinic right now, that's from Exos. Our movement analysis was kind of based off of theirs.
Okay.
And basically, like, just a short summary of that movement analysis, that's kind of like what set things up for me. That movement analysis is looking at the entire body, joint by joint.
Yep.
And then the theory behind it is, okay, so if you're squatting and you have like a fort trunk lean, like there's 3 to 5 possibilities on why that would happen.
You can
right?
tell a lot about someone by their squat.
Right.
In terms of how their body is, for sure.
Exactly. Yes. And then, so with that squat analysis, they taught me like, let's go joint by joint. Like, is it the hips? Is it the ankles? Is it the knees? Is it the upper body? Is it the core? So that's kind of where I got from that. Just look at everyone from a whole body perspective, and then just taught me. Honestly, it's a lot of like customer service over there. Like over there, they're dealing with a lot of the main population I was seeing over there were college players training for NFL Combine.
Nice.
Like that was awesome.
Yeah.
So they're not coming in here being like, oh, I got a little like back pain or whatever. They're like trying to get here and sprint and bench and jump as high as they can. Like you gotta like sell them, you gotta like work them hard, all this kind of stuff. So it was just kind of nice because my first 2 clinicals, not that it was bad or anything, but it was kind of like your general population. And there I really learned like you gotta push people, you gotta like help them out, you gotta get them to that peak performance, right?
Yes.
So I think that's what really set me up to being like, this is awesome, this is cool. Okay, and then after that, I was like, okay, this sports thing, awesome. Let me try to get a job. I knew I wasn't gonna find anything like Exos, like my first job around, but I tried really, really hard to be like, this is the environment I want to be in. Like once you get like exposed to that kind of environment, like as a PT student, I think that just flipped a switch for you where you're like, okay, traditionally, people think PT is for old people. I think people still think that. But once you get into a setting like that, you're like, okay, PT can help me jump higher, sprint faster, get to my peak performance.
Yeah.
Which I think I'm going to say a lot because I think that's what the clinic is really striving towards. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
And then just like summary of my job search, I tell people a lot, like after Exos, I'm looking for a job. So I clearly remember the weekend that I had my interview at Core Sport. That was like a crazy weekend for me because at that time I was living in Chillicothe, Illinois, population 5,000, and I was like applying to these jobs to Chicago. And so I got 3 job interviews lined up all in that one weekend, right? I'm not going to name the other clinics, but one was in Bridgeport, like 2 streets away from my house.
The south side of Chicago, Bridgeport.
Yes, the south side of Chicago, the true south side of Chicago. And then the other one was way up north in the North Shore. The one in Bridgeport was kind of like a general population. It marketed itself at sports. Like I said, ever since doing Exos, I was really picky, right? Because I knew like this is where I wanted to be. Like this is where I'm going to find like fulfillment in a job. I felt like if I went back to kind of those more traditional clinics, I would feel like I'm missing out on stuff.
Yeah, like you're kind of wasting your time, if you will.
Not wasting my time, but I was just like, I know this is where I want to be, so I just want to go off the start, just like being there, at least working with athletes or something. So I got there, and like I'll talk about this a lot. Their model wasn't it for me. Like he came in, and then he was kind of like, oh, every patient comes in, they start off 15 minutes, you do a lot of manual, and then you pass it off to an aide. And I'm like, dude.
That ain't us.
How are you saying that out loud and being like, this is how we do things
like
here.
happy about it.
Right. Yeah. And I like, honestly, that works for a lot of people. And I'm not going to say against that, but I was like, this isn't for me. Like, I like guiding people do the exercises. I like coaching. I like all this kind of stuff. I cannot be out here like doing manual all day long.
Right.
This kind of stuff. So that was, even though it was in Bridgeport, 2 streets away from my house, I was like, this isn't it. Then I went to that Northside. This is the next day. I went to that Northside clinic. That was more like they had squat racks. They had like a CrossFit place next to it. I was very tempted. But then I drove home, and then that commute was over an hour and a half.
Thank God for the traffic that day.
That wasn't the deal breaker for me, but like when I got there too, like it was closer to where I wanted, but and this goes along with a lot of the places I was looking for. Like when I was talking to the managers and everything, they were almost trying to sell themselves to me,
right.
if that makes sense. Like,
no, absolutely.
I would ask questions, since I was so used to that Exos model, I would ask, like, do you guys do one-on-one care? How often do you pass off to an aide? Like, what's your productivity? Am I going to be, like, so mad and upset and tired working here?
Yeah.
And then, you know what, I feel like they were not used to getting asked these questions, especially from a new grad. I was desperate, but I know a lot of new grads are like, I'll just take any job I want. Give me that $10,000 signing bonus.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. But I was like, you know, like the money's important, but I want to like not feel burnout in my job.
For sure.
So I was asking him that, and then he was just kind of like going around with it. You know, he's like, oh, you know, 30 to 45 minutes. I was like, so 30.
Yeah.
And,
so 30, probably less.
I'm like watching the clinic, and then people are coming in and out really fast. Like the turnover is really quick. And then I was just like, I can see like more of like a mill style when I see it. So anyway, I was like, oh, that was kind of a dud too. They had a squat rack, but like.
They had a squat rack. That was cool.
And then finally, my last one was at Core Sport, right?
Yes.
Even before that, like a week before, I got the call from Bobby himself. I don't know, there was just something different. He was he was asking me about myself, if you know what I mean. And he was just like, okay, like, what experience do you have? Like, what patient populations have you done? Like, what do you have to offer to us?
Mm-hmm.
I think you talked about in his episode, like, hiring has been on point.
He's gone. I mean, he hasn't missed. Him and Diane have not missed.
Yeah. So and that's important. It's like, you got to hire a good PT. You got to hire someone who just like vibes with the team, because that just has
team chemistry.
Downflow effects. Is that the right word?
I would say so.
Waterfall,
for sure.
downfall,
Waterfall, trickling effect.
Trickling effect, right? Because
Is it trickling? Yeah, trickling. I like it.
Yeah, trickling effect, right?
The trickle.
Right. If you have a positive team, if you have everyone who's like
ripple. Trickle. The old trickle ripple.
The butterfly effect. No, that's different.
Yeah, we don't know.
I heard that movie was really scary.
Anyway,
I think so. Being the first PT, I think he was like, okay, I gotta make sure I do this right.
Yeah.
You know. So he was asking me, and then I think I was like, okay, this guy really wants to know me.
Yeah, this guy cares about me.
So that was like already, compared to the other clinics I talked to, I was like, oh, okay. Like, honestly, a lot of places are just like trying to hire a PT to fill a spot full of like 20 other PTs. So they're just like, okay, let's just get another one. And
right.
I'm not saying all PT clinics like these, but that's what it feels like nowadays.
100%. They're just looking for numbers. It's like, I've never once felt like a number here. Like when I got done at my other job, I think they had a new person start. I was training the new person taking my spot or while I was getting ready to leave.
Right. I gotcha.
Love my old company. Great company. Great people. It's just here, like if one of us left, I mean, my God, I mean, it would be like, imagine if like you were like, hey, I got a new job. Like, I think we would be in shambles for months.
Years.
Eons.
Decades.
Eons.
Generations.
Yeah.
Yes.
We would never bounce back.
Yeah. Anyway, so the interview, so I checked the location, and I was like, Beverly.
Bad.
So my one thing I know about Beverly, I think the kids will like this story. So I went to Whitney Young. I don't know if I mentioned that, you know.
Did you go to Whitney Young?
Roll fins.
Fins up.
So our graduation party, we went to Warren Dunes in Michigan for a camping trip, and it was me and my nerdy Bridgeport friends, and then a bunch of Beverly kids, and we're hanging out in this 15-person tent, and then we're just having a good time. We're playing like board games, whatever, and then you guys can cut this out if you want, but the Beverly kids just start drinking.
Yeah,
and I was like,
that checks out.
Me and my little Bridgeport friends are like, oh my God, we don't want to participate. And then we just like left the tent and sat by the fire and played like whatever campfire game.
Yeah.
And then like every time we just like heard whatever in the tent, we're like, oh my God.
Yeah, guys.
So I was,
call mom.
That's what I knew about Beverly, Chicago.
That is, I mean, that's just, I feel like that's just the South Side in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Which,
Kind of fun.
growing up around here, it's just part of, I feel like it's part of the process, if you will. Going in the woods with a...
Just scared Bridgeport kids.
Yeah, it's just, it's meeting up with the friends,
Yeah.
the train tracks, 16-inch softball tournaments, Monroe Park, what are those little styrofoam
I don't know.
coolers?
You had a very different childhood than me, so I can't really relate.
Yeah, my two older brothers are not surgeons, so I did grow up a little bit different.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that's I feel like that's the lay of the land. That's the process, if you will.
So that's all I knew about Beverly. And then, and the kids I knew were like surprisingly athletic. So I was just like, okay, they got some whatever in there. I meet up at Core Fitness and meet Diane. I stopped by Rosangela's right before. Got the eggplant parm.
Okay.
That was great.
Good for you.
Good start to the day.
It's a good meal.
I go to Core Fitness, and I don't know how many of you guys have been in Core Fitness, but kind of like a spa, a little bit like a surf. Everything's very relaxing.
Yeah, you walk in there, and it's like you just feel comfortable. It's like you walk in there, and then coming in my favorite thing is like starting my day here, and then going in there. It's like a breath of fresh air in there.
Yes, gotcha. But yeah, I went in there. I met Diane first, and then this was like kind of like I'm meeting her for the first time. She's a big boss I knew, so I'm sweating a little bit.
Yeah.
The ComSurf vibes really kind of calmed me down.
Yep.
So thank you, ComSurf vibes. So she's just like asking me about myself. I'm kind of like saying what I'm saying here, and then she's like, "Okay, let's take that short drive down to Core Sport." And so this was when we were still in the basement. And I know you guys are always talking about like, oh, it's nice to get out of the basement. Nice to get out of the basement. Whatever. That was a nice boutique basement,
I never saw it. I still haven't seen it. I'm coming up. Like I've been here for a year. I still have never. I know where the church is.
Yeah.
But I have never ever been down there.
Yeah. So I roll up. It's the church, obviously. And I was like, oh. Yeah. Okay. I gotcha.
It's a pray before every session.
I go down those steps, and you know what? It's well built. It had turf and a squat rack and weights that go over, like they had 80-pound weights. Not that like that's essential, but it's like if you're training athletes, like you need weights, you need turf, you need space to move, For sure. So I've been to so many clinics where you're like, we do sports, and I'm like, how?
Yeah, where?
Like, what are you doing? So I was like, okay, good sign already. And just to keep it brief, like I interviewed with Bobby and Diane. I kind of blacked out during it, so I can't tell you exactly what you're talking. I think I stood up at one point, and then I was like shot putting at one point, and then
you were just going through your mechanic.
Yeah,
I
didn't play no basketball, I didn't play no lacrosse, but here I am throwing this heavy ball.
Do you have anything I can throw in your clinic?
Can I show you what I can do right now? Yeah, so that went well. Obviously, I got the job offer that weekend,
nice.
And then I was in Ethan's house in Chillicothe, and I was like, oh my God, I finally got it.
I did it. We're going to be okay.
I did it. So
for you or listeners that don't know, Ethan is Alice's lovely fiance.
My fiance, yes.
Fiance.
Not Nick, despite popular belief.
Yeah, that is. We just got that the other week. They were like, you were working with a patient, and she was like, "Is that your fiance?" And she said it in a look of disgust. I'm not gonna lie.
You know who you are.
I do. I do know who I am.
But yeah, so I got that, and it was one of those where I didn't even wait for the 2 other clinics. Like those interviews went well. I could have gotten an offer from them, but I was like, okay.
Turn off that
notification.
notification.
Let's go. But ever since then, like started at Core Sport till now, it's my 3-year anniversary in August.
Hey.
Just watched it grow year by year.
That's a perfect lead into my next question. That literally was perfect. It's almost like we went over this before, which we did not, I promise.
You didn't give me a list of questions.
I didn't.
I literally have notes just in case for every situation.
You are the first person to walk in here with notes, so I think you might hit me with an Uno reverse today. This could be fun. No one's Uno reversed me yet. Your introduction absolutely killed Jarrett's introduction, so you're rolling right now.
I can't say anything mean because I'll hear about it later. He fights back now.
He does. He barks back. He does. It's like a little chihuahua that barks back. All right. Going into our next question, since you have been here for coming up on 3 years, but how have you seen the company? How have you seen the clinic? How have you seen the dynamic, just the morale, the vibe, if you will? How have you seen it changed in the last 3 years being here?
You know what? Honestly, I would like to say the vibe is the same, which is crazy to say.
That's cool.
Because think about this. The first 3 people when I joined, it was me, Bobby, Danny.
Danny, yep. Danny's also an OG.
So I think the vibe has always been like, we know our stuff, we're professional,
but
we're
like,
also kind of cool. You know?
but we're fun. We're fun.
You know, it's hard to hit that combo.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you can be light, but you can also like not know anything.
For sure. It's definitely something that I feel like patients feel. I just had a movement analysis last week. Actually, no, this week. Today's Friday. Yeah, I had a movement analysis Tuesday. She came back for her first session yesterday, and her first thing in, like, you know, breaking the ice with her. I was just chatting her ear off and everything. She's like, "This clinic is like, you guys look like you have fun." She was like, "This looks fun." And I was like, honestly, it is fun here. It's almost like lack of better words, it's like a barstool of physical therapy. You know what I mean?
Barstool,
like,
if you are listening to this,
Barstool, please sponsor us.
maybe a little extension. It's just like, oh, well, you talked about this the other podcast, but we do chirp each other a lot more.
Yeah.
Like when it was me, Bobby, and Daniel, be like, "Oh my God, great job, everybody."
Yeah,
And not that we don't do that now, but now it's like, "Great job. You really could work on your," I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
an example.
It's like, you know.
I'll put on shoes next time, Alice. Like, come on, we're running a business right now.
Yeah, it's. And I do feel like I brought that in a little bit, hand up. But that's just like how it is like we talked about in the first one. That's just how it is over here. I like chirping someone.
Everyone's really nice to each other in Bridgeport, so.
I guess maybe that's why sometimes you guys are not considered Southside.
Oh, shit.
I'm not. Those aren't shots fired. I'm just saying maybe that's just. But, you know, chirping, that is a way that we say, you know, like, we like someone over here. We love you. Like, I love walking into the door and I'm getting an eye roll from Kaylee and she's like, "Hi."
All right. So, I think the vibe's the same. It's just like, it's cool, though. It's cool just to like, oh, new friend, another one.
Yeah.
All right.
So going on to our next topic, kind of your realm, your expertise.
Nordic hamstring curls.
It is not Nordics. We'll get into that. But I want to kind of get into powerlifting.
Oh.
That's obviously your area of expertise.
All right.
You are yourself a powerlifter. It
am.
is such a flex. So cool. Competition coming up. I'm very excited for you.
Yep.
Can you go ahead and just give us a background of working with powerlifting athletes? What are some of the common deficiencies you see? What are some of the things that you typically see when someone's coming in? I know everyone is different, but having our mentorship slides and going over them with you, you've gone over a lot of the stuff you see in it. So I just think it would be something good for the listeners to hear. Anyone that's a powerlifter out there, or honestly anyone that just lifts in general. Yep. What are the common things you see? What are some of the things you like to work on?
Yeah. So fun fact, I have not gotten a true powerlifter yet. And I consider true powerlifter like someone doing like a powerlifting meet, like really training to max out in something. Mm-hmm. If you're a powerlifter out there, come to Core Sport. I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, we have a girl for you.
But I have had a lot of Olympic weightlifters, CrossFitters, kind of like that adjacent, all the strength sports. Mm-hmm. So I've had a good amount, and I do see like some patterns that come up. So I'll get a lot of like hip pain, knee pain kind of things. And first of all, I am seeing like a lot of the same things, which is interesting to me because I'll relate to them a lot. So I'll like do the testing and I'll be like, you cannot possibly have the same things that I have. So if I had, not everyone's the same, obviously, but I do feel like sports like that, they're very repetitive, you know,
sure.
Like basketball, baseball, all that. Like you're doing all through different planes of motion, like you're moving different ways. But the lifting sports are very much like you do this one thing. You keep doing this one thing
over
and you
over.
Just keep adding pounds
and
then
you
that
get it
one
heavier.
thing really, really, really well. So I see a lot of overuse and I see a lot of like messed up mechanics that they've been getting away with for a long time.
Right.
And then I think that's where they get to the point where they're like, I need help with this. Like I've run into this myself. Like, so I think even like what I'm dealing with myself, like a lot of the powerlifters and weightlifters can, relate to. So my one injury I've had, and hopefully none more, knock on wood, I've had like a hip impingement on my left side as well as some left-sided back pain. And I contribute that to, again, like squat's my main lift in powerlifting. And I do a high bar squat and a sumo deadlift. And for those who don't know, those are both very similar. Like, quad dominant, very upright, like very deep hip flexion.
Yeah.
That as well, I'm a big biker. I probably in the summer bike 10 to 15 miles every single day. So I mean, when you combine all those together, you're gonna get hip impingement.
Yeah.
Like that's a big thing I like to talk about with the powerlifters, weightlifters too. It's like, so what are you like doing? Like,
Yeah,
with
what-
your workouts? No, seriously, like you wouldn't think you would get much out of that, but I'll be
Yeah.
like, okay, what's your split? Like, what's your squat? Like, how many times are you squatting? All this kind of stuff. And you can dig up a lot of things from that.
Yeah.
And like, I was powerlifting for 8-10 years when I had that hip impingement. And then in my head, I was like, my workout's perfect. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
me.
right.
Like, this definitely is not my...
My form is
That's
perfect.
not my... Yes,
Yeah.
I did say that at one time.
Did you?
I mean, my form is pretty good, but it's like there's just so much the body can take.
For sure.
So,
and I feel like, too, like working with power lifters or weightlifters, and nothing against, but like I'd be the same way. You'd be like, oh, I do this for my sport. Like it can't be my form.
I know. And you know what? When I'm working with those people, I tread a fine line because
Yeah.
these people have been lifting for a long time, right? Who am I to be like, hey, like, you could change this around, like do this kind of, but I had to get over that. I've had a lot of Olympic weightlifters come in and I'll look at them. I do a lot of Olympic weightlifting. That's definitely not my specialty, but I know a lot of, I would call myself like almost intermediate, you know?
Okay.
So this lady comes in with like wrist pain. And then I'm like, oh, what could it possibly be? Let's measure your forearm strength. Let's look at your wrist extension, blah, blah, blah. I look at her do a snatch. Her bar is all the way up to her fingers. Her wrists are not stacked. And I'm like, do you always do that?
Yeah, is that something you always do?
And then she's like, yeah. And then I'm like, oh, how about we try to do a little stack, you know?
Yeah.
She definitely had like some hip mobility and like some thoracic things going on. But I was like, let's start with this, get it pain-free, open up some other things. And then literally this lady had like 8 months of wrist pain. And then after just doing a few things this session, like giving her some mobility exercise, she's like, my wrist is pain-free. And I was like, yes!
Yes, that's a big field.
So, like, going back to that whole body analysis, like, yes, her wrists were extended, but that's because, so, we're going to talk about this later, but we can talk about this now. Like, I have great squatting.
I am perfect at squatting.
I have great squatting form because my body is built for squatting. I got a long torso. I got short little legs, not Chris,
Same.
my little legs. Nick, you had a pretty big squat back in the day too, huh?
I did, yeah.
What's the similarity between me and Nick? Everyone just think about it right now.
Short legs.
I got tiny little femurs. I got this long torso, you know. I got these big quads. Like, yeah.
Big quads.
Of course, my
Quadzilla.
squats would be great. Like, this lady that came in, she had short torso, long femurs, like, tight hips. And I told her, I was like, I'm not going to make you stop lifting. Like, live your dream, live your life.
Yeah.
Like, but you have to adjust. You know, if you're going to be doing this, you have to have the mobility to do this so that we're not, like, overcompensating with other things.
For sure.
So lots of hip mobility, ankle mobility. That's a big thing I see with the lifters.
Yeah.
I myself have tight internal rotation, and I feel like so many of the lifters that come in have that tight internal rotation.
In the hips.
A lot of them have tighter ankles than I would like. A lot of them have limited thoracic extension. A lot of them have like pelvic issues. If everyone here knows what a butt wink is, that's when you're squat. Next time you go to your local gym, look at people squatting, see if you can spot a butt wink. Homework from Alice. That's when your pelvis.
Don't make it obvious, though. Don't just go stare at butts.
Oh my God, this kid was just like staring at my butt while I was. Oh my God, start taking notes. Like it was insane. Some people, they're squatting, and this is a result from tight hips or tight internal rotation. I used to do this too, where you're squatting and then your hips literally tuck underneath, and that's. You can get away with that for a very long time, honestly.
Yeah,
but
when your body starts telling you, hey, this is starting to hurt a little bit.
But then you know what? If you keep going with that, you're going to overcompensate with certain things for muscles you're not supposed to use.
Certainly.
And then you end up hanging out with catalysts from core sport and physical therapy. But yes, I would say that is something I see a lot, just that limited hip internal rotation. They got external rotation for days. I see a lot of problems with bracing the core, and I see a big one I see with the kids is kind of not a butt wink, but more of like an overextension of the spine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And I attribute that from lots of coaches are teaching kids like
You can see
chest
it.
up, butt back.
Yeah, chest up, butt back.
Which is generally good, but some people think as like, okay, chest up, butt back, come up like that.
They're just living hyperextension.
I'll see that a lot with the adults, and I think that is like a leak from like how they were taught to squat.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm big on, especially if you're a power lifter or an Olympic weightlifter, I'm big on load your quads, brace your core, keep that bar path straight over your midfoot.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's very good cues.
And whatever mobility deficits, to open those up first, squat right,
Squat.
and kind of ingrain that in your brain a little bit. Like this lady that came in, I was cueing her all this kind of stuff, and then she was like, this feels weird. But then I was like, but this is right.
Yeah, this is the right way. It's anytime, because your body makes that muscle memory.
Right.
It's like anytime you change anything, anything you do repetitive over and over again for years, once your body changes doing something or you do it a different way, your body's like, wait, this feels super weird.
Yeah, and going over like body shapes and body like different kind of structures. I'm just going to keep bringing this up, but I got a great body for squatting. I'm just going to keep saying that because it's like, okay, I'm 5'1" with short legs. There are like 5 sports I'm probably going to be really good at, and one of them's powerlifting. One of them's like jiu-jitsu. Oh, I really want to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I can see you. Do they do kicking in jiu-jitsu?
I don't know. It's
if
just
you
like
get that leg fully, if you get that quad behind those kicks.
So anyway, I'm like, okay, this is the one thing I can do. Like, I'm great at squatting. But you know what? A lot of people who are like traditionally more athletic bodies, so taller, longer femurs. The first person I can think about is think about what CJ looks like. He's gonna love that.
Yeah,
I know.
that's gonna be...
I on the spot, I cannot think of anybody else.
He's gonna clip that post on the Coursework DG. He's like, can we get that clipped? And
I'm gonna tell you, he probably has a hard time squatting. But maybe he's he's pretty good.
Yeah, from squatting with him, he
does a lot of like
he does do a lot of heel elevated.
So that's something I was talking about. Like that's great segue, everybody. So I like to tell people, don't be afraid to use help. So a lot of things you can use are heels elevated. You can get literal shoes that elevate your heels, and then a lot of people are like, I don't want to do this. I want to wear no shoes like you and do it all natural. And I'm like, I wear a heel elevation. I do Olympic weightlifting shoe. Like, I use a belt. I use, like, all this kind of stuff.
It's the only time I see you in shoes is when you lift.
Yes, they are very helpful. Well, okay, the one thing that I really am careful with my lifting population is I don't tell them to completely stop. That's my big thing.
Yeah.
Because I think I've heard a lot of people come in and they're like, hey, I didn't go back to my other PT because they just told me to take a break for 2 weeks. I'm not going to tell you to do that. I'm going to tell you to adjust things. I'm going to tell you to do a variation, but I'm not going to tell you to completely stop until your symptoms come down and then you mess yourself up again.
Right.
So this lady comes in and I'm like, hey, she already wear like the shoes. So I was like, try maybe even a little more. Try like a lifting belt so you can get your brace a little better. Yeah. Do something different with your wrist wrap so that it's like hitting a different spot with your wrist. So that's where I feel super comfortable with saying, and I think they know my background, so they're not like, oh, this PT is telling me like do this. What does she know? I know a lot.
She does. She does.
I
can attest.
I mean, that's a big thing working with that population. It's like that's their sport. Like you can tell the kids to stop lifting for a bit and they're like, okay, fine, 100%. Sure, I won't do the workout for a day, whatever.
Yeah,
but then for them, it's like you're telling me to literally stop doing my sport. And I
won't. And I simply won't. I'm going to put my foot down. Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's great insight. Great couple things for people to listen that are listening to kind of key in on. Even like I said, you don't have to be a power lifter. You can just be anyone that's working out. So bringing up our next topic of fun. Like you said, you have a perfect body for squatting, perfect quads for squatting.
I'm really good at squatting.
Yeah, Alice is the queen of squatting. Can we start to like hone in on the muscles of the leg more specifically the hamstrings.
Semimembranosus, semitendinosus, biceps femoris.
Yes. Okay. So we got all three of them. We got all three of them. I did think you would know all three of them, but I want to talk about with the viewer or the listeners and everyone watching, what is important about not sleeping on your hamstrings. I think that's one of the biggest things.
Oh my God.
One of the things that I brought in here besides chirping is the hamstring focus and how much I love the hamstrings.
And I will always fight back being like, I work on my hamstrings. I did a 200-pound RDL the other day.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good that you could do a 200-pound RDL, but if you can do a 500-pound sumo with your quads.
I know.
So I basically want to talk about the quad to hamstring ratio and why it is important. Even just for ACL. We went over, or I think me and Jared talked about it with ACL, but I want to talk about why is the quad to hamstring ratio so important in athletes?
The quad and hamstring ratio is very important because your quads are think about your quads as the accelerator. It's the thing that makes you run fast, it makes you jump high, and then your hamstrings are the brakes, the decelerator, right? So
it's kind of like throwing. Dean, our PT Dean, he likes to say the internal rotators of the shoulder are their accelerators, but you need the decelerators, which are your external rotation.
I know I'm kind of being a brat about it, but yes, this is all very important.
No, it's an ongoing joke that we talk about because Alice, not only does she go dogs out every day, she also goes quads out every day. So, and we have our vault equipment, shout out vault, and we all tested, we all got to have our own numbers too, and I'm not putting you on the spot, but Alice's quad to hamstring ratio was one of the areas of improvement.
I think the last time I tested, I got 36%.
36%.
Which ideally is, what's the ideal ratio, Nikki?
The benchmark is 60%. So you're more than halfway there.
That's nice to know.
Yeah, so you're close. So basically what we're saying is Alice can accelerate like no other. The brakes, though, however, are...
Well, that's when you just don't stop.
Yeah, just run. You run through the brick wall. You run through the wall. Now, how would you say, and just for all athletes, like, would you tell them to not sleep on their hamstrings?
I would tell the athletes, yes. But, you know what, I'm just going to do a quick defense on myself. I'm not running, I'm not cutting, I'm not playing flag football or softball or anything like that. So, yeah, I could probably use more hamstrings. Honestly, doing more glutes and hamstrings helps with my hip impingement, so I do a lot of that. Mm-hmm. But I'm at a point where I just do so much quads that if I were to do the same amount of hamstrings, I would have to quit this job and then spend like half the day just doing more hamstrings.
Right.
So
yes, it's obviously different. It's different for every athlete, but it is something... People just helpful. Don't, yeah, and I mean, the hamstring group is an annoying group to work out because you do them and then they're sore for 4 days and then you're walking around. It hurts to sit. They even stink to stretch. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
but yes, I do get my athletes to do the hamstrings.
That's
if
good.
You look at my programming, I got my Nordic hamstring curls, I got my RDLs, I got my hip, I got my seated. See how I'm having a hard time saying hamstring? I got my seated leg curls, all this kind of stuff. I got good ratios going, all this kind of stuff. And then I try to demonstrate a single leg slider curl, and I'll be like, I can't pull it in, but you should. Yeah, and that is very embarrassing for me.
Yeah, we do need to get you able to successfully do a hand. Like, we got to be able, and that's, I feel like that's why we work out so much, is because I'm just trying to keep up with, like, I have to be able to demonstrate the stuff that we're doing. And like, if I'm like, hey, do a Nordic hamstring curl, I couldn't imagine going down into my hamstring curl and me catching a cramp from...
On me all the time.
Oh my gosh. And then they're just like, are you all right? And I'm sitting there with a tear coming down my eye, holding my leg. So yes, it's very important. It's something that I started looking at a lot when I started doing like my lower body assessments at my previous job. Kind of got introduced to me there because when I was going through my ACL rehab, I was fortunate enough I did not go to core sport, which my therapist was great. She obviously got me back. I'm chilling. Played 5 years of baseball on it. Still doing.
Let's go.
Still rolling.
Go Cougs.
Roll Cougs. But it was not something that I ever really picked up on, like how important, the quad to hamstring. Looking on the same side. We always look like side to side. Okay, your surgical side has to be as strong as your non-surgical side.
I always say this. I do think it is like a cultural thing where everyone cares about everything in the front. Everyone's like how much you bench, You know, oh, you got
Chest,
big quads, whatever.
biceps.
Yeah, no one asked how much you row.
Declan Smythe's here working out right now, and he's doing his 4th arm day of the week, I think.
He said he'll do legs next week.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'll do legs next week.
But yes, I do think that that is a big problem that a lot of like the kids we're having are. A lot of kids don't know how to hinge, which I can't say that I knew how to hinge when I was like 12-year-olds, but they can squat for days.
Yeah, everyone
and
can
I wonder
squat.
why. You know, it's just like a hinge is hard to teach, right?
It is.
But like if you're teaching kids and you're like doing more group classes and stuff, you gotta teach them a hinge.
Yeah.
Right. So I know it's easy to teach kids how to squat. You gotta work on the hamstrings.
Gotta
Don't sleep on the hamstrings.
So that should be it almost should be the title of this episode. Don't
I
sleep
don't
on the
want
hammies.
the title of my episode.
Yeah, all right, you can choose it. That's right. Queen of the quads.
Queen of the quads.
Queen of the quads.
Quadzilla in the house.
Queen goddess of quads. Quad goddess.
Quaddis.
Oh! Hang on.
My
Now we're
God.
hot. Now we're hot. All right, we're gonna start wrapping up everything. But before I go into our who we're buying stock for, Alice, what is your favorite core sport memory so far?
So far,
I like asking this one because I feel like it's just you, especially an OG like you. You've seen 2 more years of this place than I have.
so I like to say that we pride ourselves on like our relationships with everyone, especially like teenagers, kids. So we get a lot of OGs, which is awesome. So one of the core sport OGs is Annie Sullivan. I'm sure she'll love this shout out. She's the most recent Macaulay M, very famous.
La M.
So when she was coming in for her knee surgery, this was when it was me, Bobby, Danny, maybe CJ, and I guess Bobby was just so bored all the time before he like had to do all this owner stuff.
Okay.
So I'm like working with somebody. Bobby's on the side working with Annie. Like this was just post-surgical, so she was just like trying to get her a little knee flexion. And so this was about a year, maybe a year and a half ago. And then I'm just working with this kid, and Annie turns to me and goes, "Hey, when's Ethan gonna propose to you?" And I was
she
like,
loves
"Oh."
asking that question. She asked when I was going to propose.
This is a fun story for everybody, but Ethan did propose to me like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, but he called my dad and my dad said no. Like he did it. I said yes. He was like, "Should I ask your dad?" And I was like, "I don't think it matters, but I think maybe. I don't know how this all works." And then he calls my dad, and then my dad's like, "Oh, you don't even live in Chicago yet, and you don't have a job in Chicago?" No.
Oh my goodness.
And that was like so crazy because he did it so soon
Yeah.
to show that he had commitment.
Yeah, that he loves.
And I was like, "Oh my God, that backfired so bad."
That is, I couldn't even imagine. Like, I mean, I definitely blacked out when I asked Kay's dad.
Yeah. Imagine she said yes, and then he said, "Oh, son."
Kay's dad too. He is Southside guy, or he's originally from Justice, and now they live over here right across the street from Brother Rice. But I asked him, and for as long as I was dating Kay, he was like, "Don't ever ask me on a golf course." And I respected that. I'm like, I totally understand. Can you imagine I hit him hole 1? Can I marry your daughter? He would have golfed horribly. So it was after work. I went over there. Also, mind you, he has a crazy schedule with his job. So I had to ask his mom or her mom first before I asked her dad because it was coming close. I had the ring. We had plans for the engagement party and everything after I proposed. And it was getting like, it was like 2 weeks before I was going to propose. And he finally had a day that lined up when I was off of work and he was off of work. And I asked him, and he's like, "Dude, you couldn't have asked me on a golf course?" I was like, "Are you kidding me, dude?" I'm like trying to, and of course, you know, at first, it took him a while to say yes. But if he said no, I would have like.
You're like, "I'm just fine."
I mean, we would have to cancel everything. We would have had to cancel. We had things in motion. We had like catering set up.
Sorry you had to go through that.
I honestly, nothing compares to what Ethan probably had to go through. I'm going to be honest.
I mean, it was okay. Like, my dad's just like old traditional Chinese guy. So I was just like, I mean, he's going to let you eventually. You just should really get a job in Chicago.
Yeah,
So, okay, this was like 2-3 weeks after. And I was like, "Oh, he already did, but my dad said no." And then Annie's like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry. Bobby told me to ask you that."
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And then Bobby's like, "Oh, I just was just trying to.
Bobby's like nervous. He's like, I'm sorry.
I'm just like, I gotta take the rest of the day off.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm
Like,
gonna go home. Damn, that is nuts. But now,
a year later on a mountain, I said yes, and me and Nick are getting married a week apart.
The honeymoon is set, but you never know. There's this virus going around. The world could shut down, and I can find myself in Peoria.
That's all right.
I do also want to say I had no input in planning the date. She found the date. Cruise ships apparently don't go out every week or whatever. It's like, I guess
it's a huge thing.
Yeah, she. But all this, who knows? Who knows what life will be like in October?
Oh, just enjoy your cruise and send a gift.
If you'll get a gift, I promise. It'll be your own personal Nordic hamstring bar for your setup for your house.
Oh my god!
All right, that's an awesome memory, and honestly, Annie, if she's
come on the pod,
yes, Annie would be great on the pod. Having the M, we should put her in the M suit on the pod.
Oh my gosh,
she passed it. She just had it.
Oh, they had the passing down.
They have a new M now. Like she was the last old M. My god.
She's on that aunt status. Is that what they say?
I think it's still Unk.
It's still Unk. All right. Finishing up. One of my favorite parts. I like doing it every week. Every time we record is who we are buying stock in. Who have you looked at? My stock's doing pretty good right now. I've been pretty hot. Except Brody canceled this week, so who does that? But Liam is nuking baseballs right now.
Let's
so he actually brought me a baseball. It's hung up in our office area. Yeah. What a savage. Who are you buying stock in?
So my stock is already very expensive. I know that you're supposed to buy low, sell high. Mine's already kind of high up there, but I'm investing long term.
Yeah, I like it.
She's like a Costco. She's like an Apple. You need like
she's your S&P 500.
You need like $800 to get in there, but once you got it, it's just like
you're not
they're not going to fail you.
You're not going to lose the $800.
My stock pick for life will be Miss Maggie Kerpakis.
Nice. Nice.
Blue.
She is the one person, the only person going to Michigan that I will support. No offense to anyone, unless anyone else goes to Michigan that we know and train and all that. But yeah, I do. She would be the only person right now that I would wear a Michigan shirt for.
That's awesome.
She is.
Yeah, she's gonna bring you a shirt, and you gotta keep your word to that.
I've heard that, like North Dakota State yesterday didn't bring me a shirt. Ooh. You know who you are when you listen to this. Horrible.
But no, she's just my example of like someone I've just worked with through a lot. I'm not going to go into the details, but like high level, obviously volleyball player, like just gone through a lot, especially when she was younger, it was just like we had to like figure out a lot of things, and then she was one where I kind of learned to be like, okay, like I can do all I can, but what are you doing outside of here?
Yeah.
Like, what's your life like? Like, how are you doing things?
That's a big part to think about.
And you know what? It's like that's why you have to be comfortable with these kids. Like if you don't know this PT, you're not gonna be like, oh well, like this is happening, this is happening, this is happening.
Right.
But like, you gotta get to know your patient, and then you put like a portfolio together.
I like that. Good.
And then you're like, oh, like this isn't just like I can give you exercises and call it a day. Like we need to like figure this out. We need to figure this out. Like what's going on. So she's just my prime example of like long-term development.
Yeah.
Like
that's a great one.
I've been working with her for over a year and a half, 2 years, and I've just watched her just like, honestly, she's just so jacked now. Like I'm so proud of that.
She is.
Like she came in, like she was still developing, growing, playing a bunch of volleyball, and then like that's all good and fine. This past summer I was like, okay, we're not playing a lot of volleyball. Let's just get so strong.
Yeah.
And then, I just, like, we have a great friendship, honestly. Like, we come in, like, she works hard, and then we're just, like, talking about everything. Like, we're friends, Yeah. I like to call my friends. We went out to ice cream once. It was great.
Awesome.
With Ava Stratton, too. That was also a great course sport memory of mine. And it's just such a gratifying feeling, just, like, going through these kids. Like I'm sure you feel this with Brody, where like he started off, he's like getting into the rhythm of things, and then you're probably sending off to college, you know?
Yeah, it's cool. It's definitely what brings me back for sure. It's bittersweet when you like build such a strong relationship and then it's like, then they're done. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like people like that, like I don't think there will ever be a summer or a time where Maggie's free that she wouldn't stop in and check
Right.
in. You know what I mean?
And that's awesome. It's
yeah.
like, oh, we're hanging out, we're getting jacked, we're just figuring things out, and it's just like, you already do so much. Let's hone in on these little things so that you will be able to play all through your career.
That's a really, really good one.
Yeah.
My stock this week, and you know what I've realized when I was thinking about the stock is like, it's kind of tougher for me because I have to pick someone every single time I do an episode. I'm gonna go insider trading this week. I'm going insider trading. No one knows this person. No one's met this person. It is my little sister, Lauren. She just finished vet tech school.
Hey.
She finished an accelerated program.
Let's go.
She's been firing off applications, and she just texted me the other day.
Once you get to your 50th, Lauren, that's what seals the deal.
I think she stayed on one. Just texted me the other day that her application and her interview, and she had a working interview. So she
had to go
passed
down
it.
there
Yeah.
and be
She
like,
just got the job offer. So shout out
Hey,
Lauren
let's
Dombroski.
go. Let's go,
Little
Lauren.
sis. She's been kicking butt. Same thing. In high school, had a little bit of a rough go with some stuff. So she's a grinder. My mom likes to put a hashtag. If you ever look up, and I'm probably exposing myself right now, but if you look up my mom, I'm not going to give you her name, on Facebook, she made a hashtag for our family. Hashtag #DombroStrong. It is the cringiest thing. It started when I tore my ACL. She posted a picture
Oh
of
my
me,
God.
like my
She's
first
got like
steps.
ribbons. She's hosting like charity events.
No, nothing that. She would if she could. I'm worried that she's gonna find like something to put up at my wedding that says "Dombrostrong." It is. I love her to death. I'd do anything for my mom. She's my biggest role model. Both my parents are my role models. But her Dombrostrong hashtag gets our family group chat. My sister changed the name to Dombrostrong. So anytime that goes off on my Apple Watch, I like try to hide it from like. No, I'm just kidding. But. Yeah, my little sister had a tough time in high school. She grinded through a lot of external things that she was dealing with, and just to see her turn into the girl that she is now has been.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's been awesome. So my insider trading, Lauren Dombroski, you can find her.
Come to Core Sport. Come on pod.
She would love to be on the pod. I was like, I had a couple people in mind, and I was like, you know what, little sis is kicking ass.
Yeah.
We're gonna throw her on the pod.
Dombrostrong.
Dombrostrong. Hashtag Dombrostrong. Shout out, mom. That's awesome. I think those stocks are buying in. I know yours is up.
Mine's
insider trading. Honestly, this could be nothing against anyone else that I recorded with, but this was probably the most comfortable I sat down and just did a podcast, honestly.
It's because we're like eye level right now. You know, we got the little legs and the
We
torsos,
do.
and
We
it's
do.
just like,
And God gave us great hair, great personality, good smiles.
all right.
I like that. You know,
Thank you, Nikki.
God gave us other
You're a
things.
great host.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
Stay tuned to our next episode. We're going to keep these things churning out. This is a lot of fun. We would love if anyone wants to be on the podcast, maybe give us a little comment, maybe give us a little nudge. It's been the amount of people. I think if you have 8 people a day, I think 5 of the people that I see are like, when's my turn? And I'm like, oh God. We have, there's a line, but we like having a line. We want more. We want a long line.
Yes.
And
all around the block. All around Kedzie.
And even if it's like someone that you think, Alice, like I would love to have you in one of your like you and Maggie. That would be a sick episode. And we can all wear Michigan gear. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. Please stay tuned to our next episodes.
Core Sport between sets.
Yeah, well-